What unfolds when a superpower stakes its dominance on a singular resource? Consider Russia's energy empire, once the cornerstone of its economy and diplomacy, now exhibiting fractures stemming from miscalculations. Over-reliance on Europe, coupled with evolving alliances in Asia, has unveiled vulnerabilities few foresaw. Why has a nation so abundant in resources encountered such difficulties in preserving global influence? And what are the ramifications for the future of energy policy? Join us here on our channel as we delve into how a strategy aimed at solidifying power has backfired, reshaping global energy dynamics in its wake. Our channel is dedicated to delivering balanced and in-depth analysis on the stories shaping the world around us. If such deep dives into global events spark your curiosity, we encourage you to engage with our content by liking, subscribing, and sharing your perspectives below. Together, let's unravel the complexities of global events and their far-reaching consequences. How exactly did Russia's energy strategy go off the rails? Initially, Russia's approach appeared quite formidable, capitalizing on decades of reliance from European nations. The Kremlin believed its energy dominance would serve as a shield against sanctions, preventing intervention during its military operations. However, the bedrock of this strategy, a profound reliance on Europe, proved to be its undoing when global markets and geopolitical alliances adapted with unexpected speed. The plan to wield energy exports as a geopolitical instrument hinged on a simple equation. Europe's dependence on Russian gas would limit their capacity to retaliate against Russia's actions. However, the share of Russia's pipeline gas in EU imports plummeted from over 40% in 2021 to approximately 8% in 2023. Considering both pipeline gas and liquefied natural gas, Russia accounted for under 15% of the total EU gas imports. Instead of giving in, European countries swiftly diversified their energy supplies, turning to nations such as the United States and Norway. This unexpected pivot was facilitated by Europe's substantial investments in renewable energy infrastructure and alternative fuel sources, thus diminishing the leverage Russia once wielded. The Kremlin's assumption of European inaction due to energy dependence exposed a basic misunderstanding of geopolitical dynamics and the capability for adaptive resilience. Facing an almost complete disintegration of its European market, Russia shifted its focus towards China and India, two of the world's most significant energy consumers. Although these markets offered some relief, the conditions were far from ideal for Moscow. In 2022, China increased its imports of Russian crude oil by 8%, while India became the third largest buyer of Russian fossil fuels in December 2024. India's purchases contributed 20%, €3 billion to Russia's monthly export earnings from its top 5 importers. Both nations exploited Russia's vulnerable state, demanding deep discounts that considerably reduced profit margins. Moreover, logistical hurdles, such as extensive transportation routes and the costs associated with establishing new infrastructure, further decreased revenues. For example, the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline has been heavily negotiated with China, which is leveraging its dominant position to dictate favorable terms. This shows how the shift to Asia, while strategically crucial, has not made up for the loss of Europe as a primary market. The financial repercussions of this miscalculation have been quite severe. According to budget documents, total budget revenue from oil and gas sales is projected to decline to 10.9 trillion rubles, or 17.53% of the gross domestic product in 2025, from 11.3 trillion rubles expected this year. This decline has placed considerable strain on Moscow's financial resources, forcing it to heavily tap into reserves. Additionally, deferred maintenance on aging energy infrastructure in Siberia has worsened operational challenges, making it much more expensive to restart production. The crumbling of Russia's energy dominance reflects a broader lesson regarding the risks of excessive dependence on finite resources and single markets. While energy may appear to be an unshakable asset, the quick restructuring of global markets and geopolitical alliances demonstrates how even the most entrenched strategies can collapse when met with coordinated opposition. The ongoing reduction in Russian energy exports serves as a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in using economic tools as instruments of geopolitical influence. As these developments unfold, it's evident that the implications of this miscalculation go beyond energy markets, influencing global power structures and highlighting the fragility of strategies built on unbalanced dependencies. Can Russia realistically rely on emerging markets like China and India? Russia's pivot towards China and India, following its economic isolation from Western markets, highlights both the opportunities and vulnerabilities associated with such a strategic maneuver. While these two populous nations offer significant potential as energy consumers, their approach to negotiations reflects pragmatic self-interest rather than alliance-driven cooperation. China, the world's largest energy consumer, has strategically capitalized on Russia's position. According to reports, Russian gas exports to China have increased considerably, with agreements such as the Power of Siberia pipeline boosting gas flow to 38 billion cubic meters annually by 2025. However, the terms are heavily skewed in Beijing's favor. Reports suggest that China demands prices akin to subsidized rates for Russian domestic consumption, granting it a disproportionate advantage in negotiations. This power dynamic shows how dependency on a restricted market can diminish a seller's leverage. India, which now counts Russia as its top crude supplier, saw relatively steady imports of 1.76 million barrels per day in 2024, slightly down from 1.79 million barrels per day in 2023. This pricing strategy secures immediate revenue for Moscow, but undermines long-term profitability. Furthermore, India's diversification of energy sources, including increased imports from the Middle East and the US, indicates that its reliance on Russian oil is driven more by cost-effectiveness than strategic necessity. Russia's eastward turn also reveals logistical and infrastructural challenges. Transporting energy across Siberia's vast and difficult terrain requires substantial investment. For example, the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline remains incomplete, and reports suggest that construction on the Russian side commenced before securing a firm commitment from China. This misstep gives Beijing significant negotiating leverage, allowing it to dictate terms as the project progresses. While exports to China and India offer temporary relief for Russia's energy-dependent economy, the discounted rates and additional transportation costs have significantly reduced revenues. Analysts argue that although Asian imports partially offset losses from Europe, they cannot replicate the scale or profitability of pre-war markets. Russia's shift eastward has ripple effects on global energy politics. As Moscow increases its dependence on these markets, other energy exporting nations, such as the US and Norway, have expanded their presence in Europe and beyond. This diversification weakens Russia's once dominant role in shaping global energy trends. Additionally, the ethical questions raised by increased energy reliance on nations engaged in conflict remain contentious. As noted by The Guardian, China and India's energy partnerships with Russia underscore the pragmatic calculus of international relations. Their approach demonstrates how geopolitical shifts often create both opportunities and constraints for major energy players. While these relationships offer short-term economic relief for Moscow, they also signal a loss of strategic parity. The pivot to China and India reflects a necessary adjustment for Russia, yet it highlights the challenges of relying on limited markets under less favorable terms. The reliance on discounted energy exports to sustain its economy reveals the precariousness of Moscow's current strategy. This recalibration also highlights the broader geopolitical shifts reshaping global energy dynamics, where economic pragmatism increasingly dictates relationships over ideological alignment. Perspectives on this topic vary greatly, reflecting the complexities of navigating a volatile global energy landscape. Before moving to the next chapter and exploring the impact of Ukraine, we ask that you take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you have not already, and share this video with anyone who you think would be interested in this discussion. It helps us greatly. And do not forget to tell us in the comments, where are you watching us from? It would be great to know. Please stay with us, as we will be making a summary at the end. How is Ukraine influencing global energy politics? As Russia confronts challenges in maintaining its energy-driven economy, Ukraine's strategic initiatives further complicate Moscow's ambitions. These moves are not only reshaping the dynamics of the conflict, but also altering the global energy and geopolitical landscape, eliciting varied responses from the international community. Ukraine has emerged as a disruptive force in global energy politics, strategically targeting Russia's energy infrastructure to weaken its war economy. Drone strikes on key oil refineries have reduced Russia's refining capacity, forcing reliance on imports from Belarus. These strikes, while tactical, are part of a broader strategic effort to degrade Moscow's ability to sustain its military operations, reshaping the dynamics of the ongoing conflict. This tactical approach extends beyond immediate gains. By disrupting Russian energy production, Ukraine undermines the Kremlin's ability to finance its war efforts, a critical blow given Russia's reliance on energy exports for federal revenues. The Financial Times describes these strikes as a masterclass in asymmetric warfare, showcasing Ukraine's ability to adapt and turn one of Russia's traditional strengths, its energy sector, into a liability. These maneuvers also act as a statement of Ukraine's resolve to resist, despite its smaller economic and military capacity. Ripple effects from these actions extend globally. As Russian exports decline, nations like the US and Norway have stepped in to fill supply gaps, increasing their energy exports and securing new markets for European countries still dependent on Russian energy. Ukraine's tactics have accelerated diversification efforts, though not without challenges. The Guardian highlights the ethical complexities these tactics pose, raising questions about the implications of expanding warfare into critical civilian infrastructure, a move that could set a controversial precedent in modern conflicts. Ukraine's energy maneuvers further symbolize a shift in geopolitical strategy, where energy infrastructure becomes both a target and a tool. This recalibration demonstrates how smaller nations can influence global energy politics through calculated disruptions, even against larger powers. Observers note that while these actions are effective in the short term, they carry potential risks, such as retaliatory strikes or unintended consequences on global energy prices. Additionally, Ukraine's actions resonate as part of a broader effort to challenge Russia's geopolitical influence by leveraging energy as a strategic domain. Ukraine underscores the interconnectedness of modern conflicts, where the battlefield is not only physical, but economic. This strategy highlights the evolving nature of warfare in the 21st century, where critical resources are both the prize and the weapon. This evolving situation illustrates a recalibration of power dynamics in the region. By targeting energy infrastructure, Ukraine forces a global conversation about the ethics, risks, and strategic implications of economic warfare, redefining the role smaller nations can play in influencing major global players. Such shifts emphasize the nuanced and interconnected realities of global energy politics today. Is Siberia's energy infrastructure beyond repair? As Ukraine's tactical strikes on critical energy infrastructure reshape the conflict dynamics, the challenges faced by Russia in sustaining its domestic energy infrastructure come into sharper focus. This transition highlights the interconnectedness of geopolitical maneuvers and internal vulnerabilities, particularly in Siberia's vast and unforgiving landscape. Siberia, often described as the backbone of Russia's energy industry, now faces unprecedented challenges. Decades of neglect, combined with the harsh Siberian climate, have rendered much of its infrastructure vulnerable to decay. Reports suggest that the cumulative impact of underinvestment, international sanctions, and operational disruptions have placed the region's energy facilities at a critical juncture. The infrastructure in Siberia was largely constructed during the Soviet era and designed for continuous operation under strict maintenance regimes. However, deferred maintenance over recent decades has left these systems ill-equipped to handle extended downtime. According to the Moscow Times, this lack of upkeep, exacerbated by extreme weather conditions, has led to frequent equipment failures in oil and gas facilities. The situation worsened after sanctions limited access to essential replacement parts and repair technologies. Storage capacity, a crucial element in energy logistics, has become a significant hurdle for Siberia's energy operations. By late 2023, storage facilities in the region had reached full capacity, forcing the shutdown of numerous extraction sites. Without buyers for its output, Russia has struggled to maintain operational continuity. Analysts from Energy Intelligence warn that prolonged inactivity could make reactivating Siberian facilities prohibitively expensive and logistically complex. Transportation infrastructure also presents a major challenge. Pipelines that once carried Siberian oil and gas to Europe and other global markets now stand underutilized or require costly repurposing. The diversion of exports to Asia introduces further logistical complexities, as much of the infrastructure connecting Siberia to China and India remains underdeveloped. This infrastructure crisis carries both domestic and international implications. Domestically, energy-dependent regions in Siberia face economic strain, with public dissatisfaction mounting as local economies falter. For example, a state of high alert declared in Yutz in late 2023 highlights the urgency of addressing energy shortages. Globally, the disruption of Siberia's energy supply impacts international markets, leading to fluctuating energy prices and increased reliance on alternative suppliers. Restoring Siberia's energy infrastructure requires substantial investment, but Russia's fiscal constraints present a significant barrier. Sanctions and falling energy revenues have depleted national reserves, limiting the Kremlin's ability to finance large-scale infrastructure projects. Additionally, the geopolitical climate discourages foreign investments, further narrowing Russia's options for recovery. While some commentators view Siberia's challenges as a consequence of Russia's strategic overreach, others emphasize the broader geopolitical context. Publications such as Global Times suggest that China's expanding energy partnerships with Russia could provide a pathway for limited rehabilitation, though these efforts may prioritize projects serving Chinese interests. Regardless, the road to restoring Siberia's infrastructure is fraught with uncertainty, underscoring the region's role as a focal point in the broader narrative of Russia's energy struggles. As this crisis unfolds, it serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of global energy systems and the risks of neglecting long-term infrastructure sustainability. The varying perspectives offered by global commentators highlight the complexity of the issue and its far-reaching implications. Whether Siberia's infrastructure can recover depends on Russia's capacity to balance immediate needs with strategic investment, a challenge complicated by its current geopolitical and economic environment. What can the world learn from Russia's energy struggles? Siberia's energy infrastructure highlights the deep interconnection between economic policies and physical realities. As maintenance costs rise and storage capacity diminishes, the broader implications ripple outward, reshaping the geopolitics of energy. These challenges lead us to consider the lessons the global community can draw from Russia's energy struggles. The shifting dynamics of global energy politics underscore the delicate balance between dependency and autonomy. Russia's energy strategy, once a cornerstone of its geopolitical influence, reveals how over-reliance on resource exports can create vulnerabilities when external conditions shift. One key takeaway from Russia's situation is the importance of diversification. Nations heavily dependent on single markets or regions for energy exports, such as Russia with Europe, risk severe economic consequences when those markets evolve. The European Union's pivot away from Russian energy has not only undermined Moscow's revenue streams, but also accelerated investments in renewable energy and alternative suppliers. The United States was, again, the largest supplier of liquefied natural gas, or LNG, to Europe, the EU 27 and the UK in 2023, accounting for nearly half of total LNG imports, according to data from SIDAZ. Last year marks the third consecutive year in which the United States supplied more LNG to Europe than any other country. 27%, or 2.4 billion cubic feet per day, of total European LNG imports in 2021, 44%, or 6.5 billion cubic feet per day, in 2022, and 48%, or 7.1 billion cubic feet per day, in 2023. Another lesson lies in the role of adaptability. Energy politics, as illustrated by Russia's challenges in negotiating with China over the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, demand flexibility and foresight. China's insistence on deep discounts reflects the leverage buyers can exert when a seller has limited options. This situation emphasizes the need for exporters to maintain diversified markets to avoid dependency on a few dominant buyers. The role of technology in securing energy independence is also evident. Nations investing in renewable energy, nuclear power, and energy storage systems gain resilience against external shocks. For example, Ukraine's targeted strikes on Russian energy infrastructure, as reported by the BBC, illustrate how modern conflicts increasingly involve critical resource disruption. Finally, global energy politics remind us of the interplay between ethics and economics. American media have highlighted concerns over sourcing energy from regions embroiled in conflict or authoritarianism. The rise in scrutiny over Russian energy exports parallels growing global efforts to balance economic interests with ethical considerations. These reflections, viewed through diverse national perspectives, demonstrate the complexities and challenges of navigating energy geopolitics. While no single narrative captures the full picture, the overarching lesson is clear. Resilience and adaptability are paramount in a rapidly evolving global landscape. As we conclude this analysis, the complexities of Russia's energy strategy provide profound insights into the shifting dynamics of global geopolitics. The unraveling of Russia's energy dominance serves as a cautionary tale of the risks inherent in over-reliance on resource exports, the importance of diversified markets, and the interplay between domestic infrastructure and international influence. The challenges faced by Russia, from its faltering infrastructure in Siberia to strained negotiations with Asian markets, underscore the interconnected nature of energy economics and global security. As nations observe these developments, the lessons are clear. Resilience through diversification, innovation in energy technology, and adaptability to shifting global demands are paramount for long-term stability. Our channel's content is provided solely for informational and educational purposes. While we strive to present balanced analyses on political and military topics, the opinions expressed do not represent the views of any government, organization, or political entity. Our primary goal is to foster constructive conversations that promote peace, reduce conflict, and advance understanding across borders. We encourage viewers to think critically, carry out independent research, and consult multiple sources. Our channel maintains its impartial stance and does not advocate for any specific political agenda, ideology, or course of action. Here at our channel, we aim to provide thoughtful, balanced perspectives on the most pressing issues shaping our world. This discussion is a reminder of the broader goal shared by humanity, fostering a peaceful and cooperative global environment. The lessons of Russia's energy struggles extend beyond borders, offering an opportunity for nations to reflect on how collaboration and sustainable practices can prevent future crises. If you found value in this analysis, we invite you to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions. Let's continue to explore the forces shaping our world with clarity and curiosity. Thank you for watching our channel, and let's strive for a future grounded in understanding and peace.